It's time for the DTT tip of the week. And in particular today, I want to talk about that moment when your child is getting in or out of the car, whether it's at home or in the carpool lane. It can be so stressful. I know getting my child to get in the car in the morning or to get out of the car when we're someplace and I'm standing there in the hot sun and, I don't want to have to prompt 32 times, right? This is really something that we worked on before, and I see that I haven't maintained it well, and so we're going back and working on it. It's part of the reason why I want to talk about it today. So if we want to help our child to do any task, and if you think about getting out of the car, let's just take the carpool lane in the morning. You pull the car up, and you're saying to the child, have a wonderful day, and somebody's opening up the door, and your child is expected to make that transition from getting out of your car and getting out of your care and step out onto the curb with somebody else and have their backpack and go from being in the dark car, because it's got a roof on it, to being out in the sunlight and going from a place where there wasn't as much sensory stuff to all these kids and adults running around, going in the gate at school, and grab a hold of the backpack and remember to say goodbye and remember to watch for cars. It's a lot. It's a lot for a child to keep in mind. So what we want to do is we want to break it down. Break it down into little teeny tiny increments. So in the beginning, it may be that all we want to work on is the child unlatching their seatbelt themselves, so that you don't have to put your car in park and get out of your seatbelt and turn around and have your butt up in the air as you undoing the seatbelt. And do we do this in the carpool lane? Do we work on this in the carpool lane? No, we don't. We're going to work on this on the weekend or in the afternoon or when we come home. And we're going to give lots of different opportunities. We might even get something that has a latch like a seatbelt and work on it outside of the car, depending on what the sensory issues are. But we're going to make sure that we reinforce the getting the seatbelt undone. And again, picking your moment is really key, right? That we want to pick a time to just work on this element of it, latching and unlatching the seatbelt. And we're going to do it with errorless learning. We're going to sit there with a child. We're not going to be strapped into our seat. The car is not going to be someplace where it can be hit. It's going to be in the driveway or parked safely in a parking lot, wherever is safe for you, and where you can turn around or sit next to the child, whichever is better. You might want to be sitting next to them first, and then showing them and helping them and prompting them to use enough force to push down on it so that the seatbelt comes undone, and we're reinforcing that with praise and whatever else is reinforcing to the child, whether it's something that they enjoy eating or a drink of something or access to, a toy over a number of trials, whatever it is, but we're going to reinforce that aspect of it. Then, the next part might be teaching them how to take, now that it's unlatched, taking the seatbelt off and moving over to the side of the car, because a lot of us have our children sit in the center of the car. So having the physical aspect of scooching over to get to the door, and we're going to start doing it without a lot of sensory hubbub, right? We're going to do it at home where it's quiet. We're going to reinforce that. And then we're going to put these two skills together. How do you push the seatbelt thing, take the seatbelt off, and scooch over? We're going to reinforce before we ever take it to the carpool lane. We really are. In fact, we might even avoid the carpool lane and park the car and walk the child up until we've got it. Depending on what the individual child, then there's the whole stepping out of the car, and we're going to practice going from someplace quiet in the car to going someplace noisy and light before we do it in the carpool lane, so that eventually we can put all of these tasks together and put it in the carpool lane. But before we do that, we are going to make fluency fun, because we can teach the seatbelt, right? And we can teach taking it off and scooching over and stepping out of the car, right? But until we've taught the fluency of it, of doing it very quickly and efficiently, we haven't finished the job here, have we? So we might have a thing where we're going to practice it at home to see how quick can you do it. because you get a better prize if you do it quicker. Maybe you get a big stopwatch and you say, we're going to see how long it takes you, and just chart. So the first time they do it, it takes them 10 seconds. Can you beat that? Let's try it again. Can you do it in 8 seconds? You did it in 8 seconds. Let's go to the bouncy house place or whatever it is. Let's see if you can get it in 5 seconds. How quick can you do this? If that doesn't work, make something else. Whatever it's going to take to be reinforcing for your child, but make the fluency of it fun for them. Then you take it to the carpool lane and you reinforce. And then you can work on the getting into the car, the carpool lane. But we can work on this and make it easier, but we just have to remember to reinforce and make it fun and break it down. Okay, that's our DTT tip for the week. Help your children to get in and out of the car fast and efficient and safely.